Hi guys, Maikeru here. This is my curly roots and superheat form guide. In this guide I'll show you the fastest way to get firemaking experience, and you can get an easy 650k plus experience an hour doing it this way. It does have quite a few requirements though, so I'm going to quickly go into those. The requirements are as follows. You need 83 firemaking and woodcutting for the curly roots. Then in addition to this you need 91 prayer for the superheat form prayer. The light within quest is needed to unlock superheat form, so you need all three of these things in order to do this method of firemaking. It's definitely worth it though, because it is the fastest way to train firemaking in game. Now leading into the setup that I used. I have an urn enhancer and some woodcutting urns because the extra woodcutting experience is still worth it. Even though you're not getting much woodcutting experience doing this method, giving you a bit more woodcutting experience is always good. The only other things you really need in your inventory is super prayer renewals to counteract the superheat form prayer. The prayer renewal effect is literally enough to keep that at bay, so you're just going to take a sip on that every so often. I have one super restore if I do need to renew my familiar and I don't have enough summoning points, and I take some beaver pouches just to woodcut those roots faster. As for my gear setup, I use the lumberjack aura to cut the roots faster. Any experience boosting auras would work here as well. I prefer the augmented crystal hatchet over the pyromatic or an augmented crystal tinderbox, just because I don't have a crystal hatchet in my tool belt and it would cut the roots quite a lot slower using a dragon one in my tool belt. So I've opted to go for the crystal hatchet. If you do have a crystal hatchet in your tool belt, you can use a augmented crystal tinderbox or a pyromatic. I have an offhand shield with the wise perk on it for some extra experience. The rest of my inventory is pretty self-explanatory. It's stuff that gives me prayer, and it's the lumberjack outfit that's really useful. Although an important note, wearing the flame gloves and the ring for 5% experience in firemaking is really useful. I don't actually own these, so it's really useful if you do have them to wear them over what I am using. That's the only thing in my setup I would actually change. Anyway, let's get into the method. In order to get to the curly roots, if you use a Juju teleport spirit bag, in order to teleport to the herblore habitat, you can just climb over the wall, run up, go over the waterfall, and then there's a little hole you can squeeze through. If you squeeze through that hole, you'll end up in the Jadinko lair, and that is where the curly roots are. One last thing, if you go into your combat settings and go onto the NPC's attack option and put it to hidden, we're going to a place where there's quite a lot of NPCs you could accidentally click, so if you hide them, you'll never ever attack them. Once you're here, the method's really easy. Make sure you have your superheat form prayer active and look for the curly roots. Only chop the ones that are curly because the others give no experience compared to the curled ones. Just run over to these curly roots, chop them so they turn like a blacky colour. That means you can collect from them. So then you click them again, collect from them, and it'll give you a ton of firemaking experience. So you just got to do this over and over again. Keep chopping at the curly ones and collecting them in order to get some insane amounts of firemaking XP. The reason why I like my augmented crystal hatchet here is because the faster you can cut them, the better. They do have a tendency to uncurl or pull themselves up when you're chopping them, which will stop you actually getting any experience from them or making the experience you get from them very minimal. I feel like chopping them super fast is pretty important. The faster you chop these roots, the less likely they are to uncurl or pull themselves up. And that's it for the method. Pretty damn easy. All you gotta do is chop the curly ones and make sure you collect from them after. Ending this video, quickly looking into the XP rates. 1 hour of curly roots and superheat form was 656k firemaking experience an hour, alongside 87k woodcutting experience an hour. This is pretty damn good. It's a little bit of woodcutting experience which actually adds up in the long run, and it's amazing firemaking XP. If you did an hour with the flame gloves and rings 5% experience that I was lacking, you could expect 688k firemaking experience an hour. That's some insane firemaking experience an hour. Pair this with a 10% aura or something and you're going over 700k experience an hour in firemaking. And that's it for this video. Hope it was helpful. Give it a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're new for loads of RuneScape 3 related things. And until next time, see ya.